This week marks 500 years since the start of the Protestant Reformation, a time of intense reflection and change within Christianity. It all started with the German monks' decision to challenge church teaching. East Texas News Weekend's Luckie takes us to Wittenberg, Germany, a small town near Berlin. That's where a group of ministers is sharing Martin Luther's message through the power of prayer.
The cadence of drums reverberate through these cobblestone streets as a procession winds through Wittenberg, Germany. This sleepy town has been awakened by thousands of visitors making a pilgrimage to the birthplace of the Protestant Reformation. The year was 1517. Martin Luther, a monk and professor of Bible studies, is said to have tacked a series of writings on Castle Church, a community bulletin board of sorts. This list proposed reforms within the Catholic Church, eventually sparking the creation of hundreds of new denominations.
Luther posted those 95 theses on these doors, and today the bronze engraving serves the same purpose, points of discussion for all who pass by.
Challenge people in their faith to look to Scripture and not to human beings for their guidance.
Now, 500 years later, a group of Lutheran ministers from the U.S. are retracing those teachings. Reverend Bob Flores leads the Wittenberg English ministry, and it's 5 services each week.
We get people to read Scripture, or preachers come from all over the world, mostly North America, to preach here for 2 weeks.
Just as Luther's translated Bible spread Scripture across Germany, people are discovering the Reformation in a familiar language. Already this year, more than 6,000 faithful have worshiped here in English. His legacy is clearly visible from all points in Wittenberg. Words from his famous hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God," now adorn the bell tower of Castle Church. Luther is buried inside, encircled by statues of his fellow reformers.
This is the place that God chose to restore the gospel to the church and to the world.
Reverend David Mosman of Missouri is here as a guest pastor. His sermon is on God, change, and the Reformation, a biblical message delivered from the same pulpit where Luther preached centuries ago.
And they're coming to a realization about, again, what happened in this place and the importance of the gospel of Jesus Christ in their lives and the lives of fellow Christians.
Enduring teachings on the relationship between God and the individual can be explored in many of the town's Renaissance-era churches.
Very moving to come to the historic churches, the Castle Church that you see in the background, and the town church down the street, and the little capella, the chapel where Martin Luther did baptisms and weddings.
Here at St. Mary's Town Church, Luther's influence is even reflected in religious art. This 16th century altarpiece, painted by Lucas illustrates Lutheran sacraments, the Last Supper, and even Luther himself as a teacher.
Because of all the challenges in the world, that it really comes down to following Scripture and what it says, and its encouragement to us through the life and times of Jesus Christ.
5 centuries after his spiritual revelation, Martin Luther's bold actions are still echoing throughout Christianity. Luckie, East Texas News Weekend.
Since its founding in 1997, the Wittenberg English Ministry has grown to include year-round devotionals and services. They're planning special tours and a commemoration this year for the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. We'd love to hear how the power of prayer has impacted your life. To share your story, just go to KLTV.com or KTRE.com. Click on the Only on KLTV or Only on KTRE tab, then click on the Power of Prayer icon.